Halo semuanya, di video kali ini Koko akan lanjutin lagi pembahasan Past Paper EJU tahun 2018 First Session Course yang kedua. Kalau di video sebelumnya Koko udah sempat bahas 4 soal pertama, 2 soal dari section pertama dan 2 soal dari section kedua. Bagi kalian yang mungkin belum sempat nonton video sebelumnya, silahkan klik link yang ada di description atau bisa cari di playlist channel YouTube Koko. Nah, di video kali ini Koko akan bahas soal yang kelima atau soal dari section ketiga. Sebelum kita mulai pembahasannya, bagi yang belum subscribe channel YouTube Koko, silahkan di-subscribe terlebih dahulu dan kalian juga boleh klik tombol lonceng sehingga kalau Koko upload video pembahasan yang baru, kalian akan dapat notification-nya. Oke, kita langsung aja bahas soal yang kelima atau soal dari section ketiga. Di soal ini, we are to find the maximum and the minimum values of the function blah blah blah. So the objective of these questions is we want to find the maximum and minimum value of this function, where x between 0 until pi inclusively. First of all, set t equals to sin x plus cos x. So we let sin x plus cos x equals to t. Since sin x plus cos x equals to blah blah blah, we want to convert or express sin x plus cos x into square root blah 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 sine of blah blah blah. This is the form of r sine x plus alpha. So from sine x plus cos x, I usually say this is 2 trigonometry. We want to convert this 2 trigonometry into single trigonometry. How to convert this? To convert this or to express this into that, we just equate the equation. So let's say sin x plus cos x equals to square root of a, I will assume this as r sin x plus blah blah blah. This blah blah blah, I will assume there is angle alpha. R sine x plus alpha. And then use the compound angle identity to expand this trigonometry. We will get sine x plus cos x equals to r. The compound angle identity for sine x plus alpha is sine x cos alpha. Then r sine x cos alpha plus r cos x sine alpha. Cos x sine alpha. After that, just comparing the coefficient. If you see from this equation, the coefficient of sine x is 1. And then from the right hand side, the coefficient of sine x is r cos alpha. Then I can say that 1 is equals to r cos alpha. 1 equals to r cos alpha. R cos alpha. And then from the second expression, we have cos x here. And then on the right hand side, we have cos x here. By comparing the coefficient of cos x on the left hand side is 1. Then 1 equals to the coefficient of cos x on the right hand side is r sine alpha. Then 1 equals to r sine alpha. If we divide these two equations, by dividing these equations, I got r sine alpha over r cos alpha equals to 1. Cancel out the r, and then sine over cos is tangent. So tan alpha is equals to 1. Then alpha is equals to pi over 4. Pi over 4. I see or I take alpha from the first quadrants. So alpha equals to pi over 4. And then after we got alpha, we can find the value of r by substitute it into one of these two equations. Let's say I substitute it into 1 equals to r sine alpha. 1 equals to r sine pi over 4. Sine pi over 4 is half root 2 or root 2 over 2. 1 equals to r root 2 over 2. Then r equals to square root of 2. We already know the value of r and the value of alpha. So I already know that sin x plus cos x, sin x plus cos x is equals to r, which is square root of 2, sin x plus alpha, which is pi over 4. This is the answer of the first questions. Square root of 2, then a is 2, b over c is 1 over 4, then pi there. So a is 2, b is 1, c is 4. And then the range of values which t takes is blah blah blah. What is the range of value of t? T is sin x plus cos x, which is t is also square root 2 sin x plus pi over 4. So for the second questions, I can say that t is equals to square root of 2 sin x plus pi over 4. We want to find the maximum and the minimum value of t. This is the minimum value of t, and this is the maximum value of t. How to find the minimum and maximum value of t? We can imagine the graph of sin x, or basically square root 2 sin x. Square root 2 here is the amplitude of the sine graph. So if I draw sine graph from x equals to 0 until pi with amplitude of 2, my graph should be like this. The maximum value or the amplitude is square root of 2. This is the graph of y equals to square root of 2 sine x. This is the graph of square root of 2 sine x. If the value of x is add up by pi over 4, that means we translate our graph by pi over 4 units to the left. So translate this graph pi over 4 units to the left. It should be something like this. This is 0, this is pi, yeah? 0 and pi. If we translate it to the left by pi over 4 units, this becomes negative pi over 4. And then this point, the x coordinate must be subtracted by pi over 4. Pi minus pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4. Maybe somewhere in here, 3 pi over 4, the graph should be something like this. But since the value of x can from 0 until pi, so the graph must be something like this. This is pi. Now this is the graph of y is equals to square root of 2 sine x plus pi over 4. From this graph, you can see that the maximum value is still square root of 2. The maximum value is still square root of 2 because we just move the graph horizontally. So the maximum value does not change. And the minimum value is obtained when x equals to pi. This is the minimum value of t. So the maximum value is square root of 2. This is square root of 2. And the minimum value is when x equals to pi. So I will substitute x equals to pi into that equation and then find the value of t. Max value of t is square root of 2. Mean value of t is, substitute x by pi. I will get square root of 2 sine pi plus pi over 4. Sine 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4 is 225 degree. 225 degree. Sine 225 degree is negative square root of 2 over 2. Negative square root of 2 over 2. If we calculate this, then the minimum value is negative 1. So I already know the answer for letter D and letter E. Therefore, t is between negative 1 until square root of 2. So letter D is 1 and letter E is 2. D is 1, T is 2. Okay, let's move to the next questions. They say next, since sine 2x equals to blah 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 in terms of t, I want to find sine 2x in terms of t. The equation in terms of t that we have in this question is only t equals to sine x plus cos x. So I think it very makes sense if I start from this equation. And then I will manipulate this equation to obtain sine 2x. So let's start from t equals to sine x plus cos x. And then I want to find sine 2x. If you remember the identity of double angle, sine 2x is equals to 2 sine x cos x. This expression we can obtain by squaring these whole equations. If I square it, I will get t square equals to sine square x plus 2 sine x cos x plus cos square x. And then by using identity, sine square x plus cos square x is equals to 1. Then I will get t square equals to 1 plus, this is sine 2x. 2 sine x cos x is equals to sine 2x. So I can change this into sine 2x. Therefore, sine 2x is equals to t square minus 1. From this, I already know the answer for letter F. F is 1. f is 1. And 4 sine cube x plus 4 cos cube x is equals to blah 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 in terms of t. Once again, we want to find this expression in terms of t. Like I say earlier, the equation in terms of t that we have on this question is only this. So I think it very makes sense is if I start from these equations. I have t equals to sine x plus cos x. And then to find sine cube x plus 4 cube x, I will make this equation to the power of 3. T to the power of 3 is t cubed. And then sine plus cos to the power of 3. I think you can do it by yourself. Sine x plus cos x to the power of 3. We can use binomial expansions formula, or we can use Pascal triangle or anything else. But I think you guys can do it by yourself. So sine plus cos x to the power of 3 will become sine cube x plus 3 sine square x cos x plus 3 sine x cos square x plus cos to the power of 3. After I expand this expression to the power of 3, this is the result. I want to find sine cube plus cos cube. So the one that I want to find is sine cube plus cos cube. So the other term here must be expressed in terms of t. How to express this in terms of t? First of all, if you see these two terms, we can factorize 3 sine x cos x. So let me continue it first. T cube equals to sine cube x plus cos cube x. This is what we want to find. And then the rest, we can vectorize the 3 sine x cos x plus 3 sine x cos x, open bracket. If I factorize 3 sine cos, then the remaining is only sine x. And then for the second one, if I vectorize 3 sine x cos x, the remaining is only cos x. So 3 sine x cos x, open bracket, sine x plus cos x. From this, I already know this is t. T is sine x plus cos x, right? So this is t, and sine x cos x is half sine 2x. From the identity, sine 2x equals to 2 sine x cos x. Then I can say that sine x cos x is sine 2x divided by 2. So this is sine 2x divided by 2. Okay, let's continue. T cube, I will write it here, yeah. T cube equals to sine cube x plus cos cube x plus 3 times sine 2x over 2. And then times sine plus cos is t. Sine plus cos is t. And then the last thing to do is we express sine 2x in terms of t. Sine 2x is t squared minus 1. So I can change sine 2x here into t squared minus 1. I will erase it. This is t squared minus 1. Move this expression to the left hand side. We will get sine cube x plus cos cube x. I think I will continue it below here. T cube. Move this into left hand side. So we will get negative 3 over 2t. Negative 3 over 2t. T squared minus 1 is equals to sine cube x plus cos cube x. Move all of this to the left hand side. It becomes like that. And then the last thing is I will multiply this equation by 4. Since we want to find 4 sine cube x plus 4 cos cube x. Multiply it by 4. I will obtain 4t cubed minus 3 over 2t times 4 minus 6t. T squared minus 1 equals to 4 sine cube x plus 4 cos cube x. Negative 6t times t squared, negative t cubed plus 4t cubed. It becomes negative 2t cubed. And then negative 6t times negative 1, it becomes plus 60. Is equals to 4 sine cube x plus 4 cos cube x. So I already get the answer for letter G and letter H. G is 2 and H is 6. 2 and 6. G is 2, H is 6. Now finally we have f of x is equals to blah blah blah. What is f of x? F of x is our equations. F of x is 4 sine cube plus 4 cos cube, which is negative 2t cubed plus 60. Let's do it here. Negative 2t cubed. First of all, we change this expression first. We already get 4 sine cube plus 4 cos cube is equals to negative 2t cubed plus 60. Negative 2t cubed plus 60. And then negative 8 sine 2x. Sine 2x is t squared minus 1. Negative 8 t squared minus 1. And then the last one is minus 7. Minus 7. If we simplify it, we will obtain negative 2t cubed, negative 8t squared, plus 60, plus 8 minus 7. Plus 8 minus 7 is plus 1. This is f of x in terms of t. This is our function in terms of t. So g is 2, like the previous one. I is negative 8. And then h is 6, like the previous one. And then j is 1. This is our f of x. Next, when we set the right side of 1, this is equation 1. When we set the right side, this is the right hand side of equation 1, as g of t. So we can write g of t is equals to negative 2t cubed minus 8t squared plus 6t plus 1. This is g of t. And differentiate it with respect to t. So we have to differentiate this equation with respect to t. We have g prime t is equals to blah blah blah. So the first thing to do is differentiate these equations. If I differentiate that equation, g prime t is equals to negative 2 times 3, negative 6t squared, and then negative 16t, and then plus 6, derivative of 1 is 0, right? So only plus 6 here. We have blah blah blah. So after we differentiate it, I got this, and then we have to factorize it. All of the term can be divided in by negative 2. So I will factorize negative 2, and then the rest is 3t squared plus 8t minus 3. And then if we factorize it, we will get negative 2, 3t and t plus 3 minus 1. I think this is our answer. K is 2. And then the first bracket is negative sign. So L is 3 and M is 1. And then the second bracket is the positive one, t plus 3. So N is 3. The final answer, or the final questions, the final questions is, hence at t equals to blah blah blah, g of t, which is equals to f of x, takes the maximum value blah blah blah. We want to find the maximum value of g of t. Maximum value can be obtained by set the first derivative is equals to 0. First derivative is equals to 0 is the conditions for the stationary point. So if I set this equals to 0, g prime t is equals to 0, then negative 2, 3t minus 1, 3 minus 3 is equals to 0. Then I got two values of t, which is 1 over 3 from this expression, and then t equals to 3 from the other one. But since t is between negative 1 until root 2, t is between negative 1 until root 2, so we should reject these zeros. So we only take this. So the value of t from this form, I can conclude that O and P is 1 over 3 without checking further. Because this form is O over P, so I already know that O over P is 1 over 3. So I will not check the second derivative to make sure that this value of t will lead us to the maximum value. I will not check it in these questions. It can save our time. So I will conclude that t equals to 1 over 3. 1 over 3. And then we just find the maximum value of g of t. So substitute 1 over 3 to the equation of g of t. G of t is this. This is g of t. Just substitute 1 over 3. G1 over 3 is equals to negative 2 times 1 over 27 minus 8 times 1 over 9 plus 6 times 1 over 3 plus 1. And then if we calculate this equation, we will obtain 27 there, negative 2, negative 8 times 3, 24, and then plus 54 plus 27. I think this is the final answer. Negative 2, negative 24, negative 26, negative 26 plus 54 plus 27. It becomes 55 over 27. That is the maximum value of g of t, which is the maximum value of f of x. So the maximum value is 55 over 27. This is 55, this is 27. And at t equals to blah blah blah, it takes the minimum value. After we got the maximum value, we want to find the minimum value. Maximum or minimum value can be obtained either at the stationary point, this is the stationary point, or the end point of t. So stationary point and the end point is the possibilities point to obtain the maximum and minimum value. What is endpoint? The endpoint is the maximum and minimum value of t. This is our endpoint, negative 1 and root 2. Negative 1 less than or equals to t less than or equals to square root of 2. This is the endpoint. Negative 1 and root 2. This is the stationary point. So since t equals to square root of blah blah blah, since they already write square root here, so I'm pretty sure that the minimum value will be obtained at t equals to square root of 2 instead of 1. Because the form square roots here. So I will not waste time. I'm pretty sure t equals to square root of 2 will lead us to the minimum value. You guys can check. When you substitute t equals to negative 1, what is the value we obtain? And I think the value will be greater than the value that we obtain after we substitute square root of 2. So when t equals to square root of 2, g of square root of 2 is, substitute it into this equation, negative 2 times square root of 2 cubed, negative 8 square root of 2 square, plus 6 square root of 2, plus 1. If we calculate these equations, we will obtain 2 negative 4 root 2, negative 16 plus 6 root 2 plus 1. The final answer is 2 square root of 2 minus 15. This is the final answer. So when t equals to square root of 2, the minimum value is this. You can check if you substitute t equals to -1, I'm pretty sure that the value is greater than this. You can do it or check it by yourself. Okay, I think that's all for these questions. Thank you buat kalian semua yang udah nonton video pembahasan ini. Koko harap video pembahasan ini bisa dimengerti dan bermanfaat buat kalian semua. Satu soal terakhir untuk past paper ini Koko akan bahas di video berikutnya. Jadi pastikan kalian jangan sampai lupa untuk nonton video yang selanjutnya. Sekali lagi thank you semuanya. Kita ketemu lagi di video berikutnya.